One, two, one, two, three. Hi. Hi. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. I don't know whether we're live yet on YouTube, but just in case we
Let me
are,
check.
okay.
Let me see. Okay, we're live.
Yeah, okay. Finally, it's shown me now. So, yes, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. My name is Brenda Unu, and we're live on another episode of Women's Matters. And today I have with me the amazing Amina Ismail of Nurturing the Boy Child. Nurturing Boy, is it academy? Is it, what shall we end it with? Or is that just how the name is? It doesn't have surname. You're welcome, Amina.
Yeah, thank you so much, Coach B, my very own Coach B. Yes, it's the second time, and I'm so excited. I'm so honored to be on
Yay.
the Women Growth Academy platform.
Not many people have that
Yes,
bragging right to say it's their second time. So come on, let's give it up for you. Well,
yes. I had to I had to say it because yes, we are the 2%, at least 1%. But thank you. I'm just really honored to be here again. And I hope you don't
you're
get tired
welcome.
of me, Ma. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Thank
Don't
you.
worry. I will let you know when we're getting tired, but I doubt that would ever happen. Welcome. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us today. And
Mhm.
so as we usually do on our program, we allow our guests to toot their horn. So we say introduce yourself, but we're basically saying that you should toot your horn. Tell us all about you, all the amazing things you've been doing, and why we should be excited to listen to you today.
CP. Okay. That's a big one. How do we start? Okay, so I'm Amina Ismail. Yes, you have said it. You put it nicely already.
Mhm.
The face, brain, all of it behind Nurturing the Boy Child Academy. I am a mother to four sons. We started this about 3 years ago, Nurturing the Boy Child Academy, when I just was struggling with where I was with my boys. I just didn't understand what was happening, growing with five sisters and just not knowing how to handle the boy child. And so we've gone along to put together this academy where we just try to help mothers, equip mothers, because I had to learn myself how the boy child
Mhm.
thinks, how we're different from him, and the reason behind some of the so-called conflicts that we have. And so in learning all of that, I realized I wasn't the only one struggling. There were so
Mm,
many, having the same struggle with boys and just not knowing how to connect with their boys. And so we went ahead and put together these connection cards, which when used properly will help you to, help to mend your relationship with your boys and even for a relationship that is thriving to even make it flourish better. So yes, just helping you to connect with your son. That connection has to be there. His tank has to be filled so that
mm,
he can get what it is that you have to give him. So, and we
mm.
always have things to give. We can't leave them alone. So what a lot of women do is because they don't understand this thing, they just turn the other eye. They're like, okay, you'll be
I
fine.
understand.
But we look back and we see that boys will actually not be fine without being guided. Yeah. So basically that's what we do. Just helping every mom one step at a time to be able to see how they can maintain connection and improve connection between them and their sons so we can guide them because, yes, they need our guidance. Yes.
Amazing. I'm just going to jump in on what I heard. Like, you grew up in a family of six girls, then you now came and gave birth to four boys. Like, who did you offend?
What? Yeah,
What
as in all the boys my mother did not have. God was just keeping
just
it for me. Oh yeah, now. Oh yeah, now. And funny enough, the only boy in our home. Okay, Coach Brenda, I feel like I have lost you. Have you? Can you see me? Can you hear
I can
me?
hear you. Yes, I
Okay.
can.
Okay. So I actually have one brother, but he's the smallest, and we had him when I was all grown. So he was more like a baby. And then growing up with sisters, he is also very soft and very, nothing brash. Then I gave birth to mine that are climbing, flying, they're everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, where do I
They
start
came
from?
out with
I've
energy.
never, yeah, all of the energy. And I really did struggle because, in our home, I think maybe it was we're all daddy's girls. So in a bid to just please my dad or just not want him to be upset, anything he says, we just abide. Plus, we knew he had our back. So I was just like, okay, so that's what a child does. When your parents talk, you listen and you do it because they have your best interest at heart. But these ones
Mm,
came without that man. They came with a different programming. Like we do what we want to do. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I'm like, well, you're the one falling and hitting your head. Like, why can't he get it? So, and
mm,
I'm telling you to sit here because I want to protect you. So it's time because I'm very literal. My mom tells me that it's all for you, it's either black or white. You don't understand,
mm,
how to, and so that affected me. I was like, I'm telling you simple things and you can't do it. And so it made me to continue to, I got confused and frustrated. And then because of that, I
mm,
started being I didn't enjoy some parts of my motherhood. I wouldn't even lie, especially the early parts. So yes, the pairing
mm,
of the clothes, I was very good at that, making sure their ions expand and all of that, taking them for their immunization, everything, feeding them till they are full. But when it came to the connection, the moment I noticed the
mm,
pushback, I'll be like, why? So I personalized everything. I'm like, why? What's
mm,
happening? What am I not doing right? And then gradually I think it took, and some even when it got into school, it continued that
mm,
way, till I started
mm,
getting some form of feedback that, your sons don't think a particular one that was bold enough to tell his mom that, my mom doesn't love me, his teacher, sorry, that my mom doesn't love me. And, and the
Ewo.
teacher actually told me, and I was like, who is this person? Come and tell me that, my mom. So I think it made me realize I think I was being too hard on them. I needed to heal from my own trauma too because I was also going through a lot. For someone who was I was I was in development and we're going NGO job and all of that. And then I now had to leave it for family. And it was not planned. It was not something I planned and I intended. And it was like, okay, I had structured that, okay, for this so amount of time, I was going to be out of job. It just hit me. And so I was going through a lot. Like, how do I move from doing impact to coming back and
Yes.
sitting down with all these people that are not even listening to me? So it just didn't. So I struggled with a lot. So, but I had to now start to go through a lot of knowledge, healing. So, I now said that it wasn't them, it was me. It wasn't them, it was me. Just the fact that I didn't understand them. I started to literally consume material, like, yes, about the boy child, how he thinks, why we're different from him, and all of those things, and how our not understanding him has led him to just live a life without guidance where he's now figuring things all by himself, and that has no child is meant to do that. No child is meant to go through life without guidance, but because we don't understand them, we just leave them. And unfortunately, the fathers who are meant to be, because boys, once you keep a father and they see, they just become. But the fathers are not there, so they're there physically but they're not there emotionally and just present with their presence in the way the boy child needs. And so there's just this vacuum and he fills it up with all sorts, with with aggression, with games, with so many things. And so that's what I've come to find out about on this journey, this long journey of mine. Yes, and we're still learning. We're definitely learning. And it doesn't mean
Amazing.
everything goes away just because you know these things. Because knowing is
Mm,
one thing. Now being able to apply it consistently is another thing. And
mm.
the boy you're dealing with, the 9-year-old you're dealing with, when he turns 10, you're seeing a different side of him. When he turns 11,
Hey.
so you have to have a PhD in
Mm,
knowing your child's developmental, your son's developmental stage. Where is he at right now? These things he's doing, is he developmentally okay? How do I react to it? Does he need help,
mhm,
or is he just being rebellious, or did he learn it from school? Your brain is, I feel, you know how they say an intentional parent is a thinking parent. I feel like an
mm,
intentional boy mom is a double thinking mom. Like you have to be alert at all times, seriously,
mhm,
or else you just
mhm.
either get frustrated. It's very easy to pick. Frustration is the easiest thing you can do. Ah, I'm frustrated. And so that's what you hear a whole lot of moms say, boy. So you have four boys. This kind, when will you have,
How are
even
you
write me
still,
is like,
how are you
when will
still
you have a
surviving?
girl? Because that one will be your own. I say, so this one's there for who? Like, it's like the girl will be my own. And so who are these ones for? But it's a lot of work. I won't even lie. But it just has to do with reframing, telling yourself that,
Mm, mm,
you weren't put in this position. You were put in this position for a purpose, and you were
mm,
literally raising another entire lineage, another entire clan, another, because he's going
mm.
to lead a clan and you have like four clans that I'm like, okay, whatever it is I do, it's going to
This,
translate into all of that. So
this
it's
right
it
there,
keeps me on my
that
toes.
thing, that thing you just said right there is the thing that drives me the most. So I have four children, but not four boys, thankfully. I've got two girls and two
Not
boys.
four boys,
And then
yes, well,
when I drive my boys, my husband goes like, "Ah, what's the children doing?" I say, "Mm." So one day my son said to me, say, Mommy, you don't you
no,
think
you
you are
can't.
doing this too much? I said, what do you mean by too much? He said, every time you tell us that we're going to be head of a home, we're going to be head of home, that's why you're pushing us. And what if I don't want to be head of home? I said, you are head of home in Jesus' name. You will be head of home is by force. That's your
Amen.
birthright. And so home. I say, and
Yeah,
because you're going to be the head of home, you have to
yes,
lead purpose. You have to know what you're doing. You can't lead people if you don't know what you're doing. And that's why we have to arrange you like this. See, I want my son to be the priest in his home. I want him to be the one to gather people to pray. I want him to be the one to lead with everything
yes,
in work, in love, in respect, in values, in everything. Let him take the lead. Is enough. Women have done enough. We saw our mothers greasing their
yes,
knees in prayer, and we thought that it's a woman's
yes,
work to be praying for the children.
yes.
No,
Mm-mm,
it's not.
mm-mm,
We saw our
mm.
mothers running around from
It's not.
PTA to this to this to that, and we think, oh, it's the mother's job. It's not,
No, no,
you know.
no, it's
And
not.
so
It's
even
not.
if our
It's not.
husbands were given to us as they are, thinking that it's our job to do it, we have a duty to correct it
Yes,
for the next generation.
yes, to
As
change
a
it, to
mother,
change it.
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
as a mother that has been on the receiving end of a son that is not of a man that is not quite, ready for all the things. I know what I want my husband to do. So we're working on it by the grace of God. Everybody, we're getting better. As I'm getting better, it's
Yes,
getting better. We're working on it together. But
yes,
guess
we
what? I have to make sure that you know what drives me? I say I will not be the reason why another person's daughter is bruising her knees in prayer in
should
the middle
not
of the
go
night.
through that. No,
No,
no, no,
I will do
no,
my job with the sons that God
no,
has given to me because I must present them to this
no,
woman, and the woman will
no,
be praying for
no.
me that, oh, the mother that raised you. Do you see? They will be bringing gifts to my house. I'll be like,
Thank you.
what's happening? What's
Yes,
happening to everybody?
yes,
Like,
yes, yes,
mommy,
yes, yes,
but this boy you
yes.
raised, oh God, that's what
Thank
drives
you.
me.
Thank
And
you.
I think that,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I'm really so, so happy that you're here teaching us and talking about these things because to be honest, sometimes boys look like they're from Mars. Like I had two girls first, and I raised the girls with plenty fighting and drama, I don't want this. So when I thought that I'd gotten used to it, I
Yeah.
knew what I was
And their
doing.
chickiness.
And I'm like, who are these? Were she like,
They
where are
not
you guys
landed
from?
boys on your
So,
head.
like so completely different. I'm like, what's going on here?
Different. Yes. Yeah.
So I like that what you're doing so that you're at least sharing with us what we should know, how we should understand, how we should reframe our mindsets, receive these blessed gifts from God. Because indeed, boys are amazing children. In fact, girls are amazing children. So everybody's an amazing
Yes,
child, but
they are.
we cannot afford to turn away and say, God, I don't understand them. I'm not in one. I don't get it. And just turn away. We
Can
can't we
get
can't
it.
afford
So I will leave it. No, 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 we can't.
that.
We can't. Yes, well, yes, that's that you've summed it up nicely, and really that's what keeps me up at night, honestly. Just the fact that I've seen homes where the mother, so it's not like these men are bad, no, they
Mm-mm.
are not. and they come from good homes, but they just weren't given the tools. They just
No.
weren't given the tools. So I have seen like very good moms, very, just almost regretting, like, I wish I had done things differently. Because how do I move from
Mm,
micromanaging one son's home to trying to micromanage another one son's home? And you're moving like that just because you want to, for peace to reign. It doesn't have to be
mm,
that way. I don't have to carry that burden. And these are women who, it wasn't like when they were young, they had it easy. They were still tending to the fathers,
mm,
the in-laws and everything. And I'm like,
mm.
even if I do all that, can I
When does
please
it
rest in my
end?
old age? Can I,
When does it
yes, when does it
end?
end? And now you're now having to now come and get into his own marital. No, 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 no. I know, no. Everything screams wrong, wrong, wrong. Like it just doesn't sit right. And so I'm like, how can we do the work now? So we get to
Mm,
at least have a peaceful old age. So we get to know that we tried our best. And it doesn't mean things will be perfect, but let them, they've been equipped with tools. They know what to expect. And then we're like, okay, I leave you, with God's blessings and direction and all of,
absolutely.
and definitely we could still check every once in a while. Then, but it's from the position of, like Coach would say, of a matriarch, where they're coming to you for wisdom, but not coming to you to manage
Mm,
things that a 13-year-old should manage. But because they weren't given the tools, just how to manage emotional regulation alone, and I have seen it
mm,
make a mess of men. Why? Why? These are responsible men, oh, very, very responsible men.
mm.
So, what are we talking about? So, I think it's just our work to do. And it would have
Yeah.
been made easier if we had, that, like you said, the priest of the home. But it's not really happening, but it's fine. I feel like we have
Got to do what we've got to
what
do. Pull up the
just
straps and just
yes,
get
yes. We
going.
just roll up our sleeves and like, okay, this is it. Let's get our hands dirty and let's get the work done. And we will. Yes, we will. I've seen women do very amazing things. I keep telling the mothers, especially the ones in the north, I've seen you guys build business empires. You've moving from, skincare to this, you're doing all of that. I think if we can do that, then we
Mm,
can just settle down and actually see how can we raise these boys. And the difference between where we are and where we want to be is just knowledge and the commitments. That's
yeah.
all. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, coach.
I love it. I love what you're doing at the academy. I mean, it's amazing. So let's jump into the topic of today. Brotherhood. How did you put it? Brotherhood beyond screens. I was like, see PhD topic. Oh, we're in trouble
Yeah.
today. So first of all, tell us, why did this topic
No.
come to you? And what do you want to teach us today? Because me, I'm ready with my screen, my pen, because the boys that are in this Gen Alpha boys, hey, them and screen is 5 and 6. Because how are we going to separate ourselves
Five
and
and
help their
six. Yes. Yes. We can talk about screens the whole day, and we can talk about the whole 9 yards of
mm,
screens. But today we're just
mm,
really going to be specific about friendships because yes, Coach
friendship?
B, you said it's friendship months, and I was like, yes, definitely, let's go there because that is an issue we see that boys face too. And I've been following this
Mm,
lady who does a lot of research on boys and men, and she actually follows men, even elderly men, and she just looks at you know the connection that what is lost, what's the problem, what you're struggling with. I've listened to her podcast, I've watched her interviews, and it was also the moment she said it, I was like, yes, this is Professor, her name is Niobe can't even remember, Niobe or something, I don't know. Yes, Ways or something. Yes, so from NYU or something, yeah. But I was like, yes, this is her work, this is it. I have really literally soaked myself into it because there's some things that we just feel it's just a particular gender that need it. It's just, no, they
mm,
don't, it's women, it's a women thing. It's a women thing. But
mm,
social skills are survivor skills. Social skills will help you survive. Like no matter how intelligent you are, you don't have social skills, you don't have emotional intelligence skills, you will struggle in life. So how is it that we felt that these boys didn't need it? How is it that we felt like they were going to be fine just because they had a Porsche that they're driving, or of which how many of them even have it? God forgive me. Okay, no shades. No, I'm not going to throw shades. Yeah. Yeah, but it's not just about the good job and the money and everything. It's also the fact that they have to navigate through life, through relationships. So we see a man and we call him, it's like
Mm,
an ATM, like he's like a living ATM. But do you actually know how that man is doing? Do you know how that man is navigating relationships
mm,
at work, even with his colleagues, even, and
mm,
even back at home? So it's the reason we're like, it's imperative on us to teach our sons how to build relationships. And it's through, because the first thing you think, but I have friends online, we're constantly chatting. No, we need to go beyond that. And they have friends, the ones they see, the ones they don't see, the ones they play, they have they schedule games with online people they don't know.
mm,
We're playing Roblox and we've scheduled our next game, and it's like a gang. They know themselves and they have fun, but it is so superficial. And so how can we teach them to create relationships that have depth, that have, because once they drop those pads or those control pads, once they drop it, they go back
mm,
to real life, which entails either they're struggling with their math, or there's somebody in school that is giving them problems, or they're having issues with their parents, and they go back to real life. So they find themselves getting trapped in that's that's what's the word now, that life that is not real, for but
yeah.
they can't stay there forever. They still come back, and that's why you see that they now kind of, they look very detached. Someone that could be smiling and laughing on the screen and everything, once he's
Yeah.
done, he looks very detached.
Mhm.
He's not able to connect with you. He's not able to even explain what's going on with him. And we're just there wondering, what is it? You don't even talk to me and everything. And then that's where it ends. And then we go the next day again, we go on autopilot, continue the day. But your son is gradually becoming depressed, doesn't know what's happening to him. He's just struggling, trying to find himself. And he fills it up with games and so many things, that even sometimes sports, because yes, the goal, they have fun, they get high, the high of winning and all of that. But
Yeah.
beneath that, there are deeper issues. Is there someone he's talking to? Is there a friend that he has? So yes, so basically, I think for us to even be able to get a clear picture, I think we should reflect and look back at our fathers, right? For
Mm,
some of us whose fathers are still alive, may God bless our parents, fathers, mothers. Yeah. But for some of us whose fathers are still alive, can we picture the lives they are living now, especially those who have retired? Most times they're just home, not really doing anything. They just seated, maybe sometimes, if those that still receive the newspapers, look at the papers every day. Those that don't, they. So one of my mentors sent, she posted a a picture, a screenshot of her father bombarding the family WhatsApp chat with with all sorts of messages, and I could relate because
their work. That's
that's
their
their
work.
work. So that's their work. I could relate, and I also feel for them because they actually don't have much going on right now. They don't have those
Mm,
friendships that they'll say, okay, a lot of them don't. For our mothers, on the other hand, even those who have retired, there's this God they are going for, or they were the prayer meeting leader, or they were
mm,
my town's meeting person, and all of
mm,
that, or they just know how to concoct things, put things together, that kind of keeps
mm,
them feeling that tank, even though they are empty nesters now, but are not feeling so lonely. There is still something. But for men, even the relationship with their children is quite cold. They were never there emotionally. For a lot of them, didn't know how to connect emotionally. So
mm,
when you just think of, when I think of that picture, I really do get scared for my sons. And I'm like, is there anything I can do now to help them to be able to form, not just, yes. So when you form relationships generally, when you learn to have social skills, right? It
mm,
will help you not just with your wife, your family, who need them the most, but with other men too, with your colleagues, with, I don't know, we just think it's okay. As long as, after all, he's going to be the husband. So whatever he says goes. So everything will be fine. But how
mm,
about at work? Do you know men are struggling at work? They're either having issues with their colleagues, their bosses, but they don't know how to resolve it. And they're just bearing it because, okay, there's no other way out. But what if we taught them how to really socialize? So yes, basically the fact that work-based relationships have disappeared, they don't even have social skills to form new relationships. And over the years, they've relied on their spouses for emotional and social support. Ordinary birthday
mm,
party. a man cannot put it together. It's the mother that does everything. So how do you want to? So when it comes to socializing, it's they are at
Mm,
a deficit. They don't have those skills. And all of these things, it leads to loneliness. And loneliness has been shown to lead to depression, cognitive decline. It's just a struggle for them. And so I think men don't speak out. If they did, you honestly will hear that a lot of men. And so in this research, she goes speaking to men, and for a lot of them, you hear them say, "Oh, other than my daughter, I don't have someone I'm really close to." So
mm,
that says a lot, because there's just this natural thing between men and their daughters, right? So other than that, and a daughter will go, she will get married and she will have her own home, her own everything that she has to deal with. So even she is not really there for you, but you can imagine if you've grown this relationship with your guys for years, and you guys have grown, and then it will be a lot easier for you to manage at that old age, because trust me, even though you have a spouse, I don't think any spouse wants to be that person that is doing everything for you emotionally and socially, and just to be there, and I think we all deserve to have an outlet. And I say
yeah,
for I do have an outlet outside of, my marriage, and, someone that sometimes we can't just onboard in, while we want to be best friends with our spouses. Sometimes we can't just
yeah.
board in them with every single thing. So can we start to, but when you even see men sit together, they're either speaking business, or they're talking about one deal or the other, or they're just talking to
Mm,
very surface level conversations that don't go
yeah.
deep, very surface level conversations. But in how about we start to talk about things that are actually affecting you, the struggle you're having with maybe your son that is struggling with drugs, or or even your wife. And these things are things that build trust, that build respect, and gradually you start to
Mm,
have a safe space. Yeah, it reminds me of this movie. I don't know if you watched it, The Forge.
yeah,
It reminds me of this,
I have.
yes, The Forge. And what I saw there was just so beautiful. I was like,
So
this is it.
beautiful.
This is it. Please, who is forging us in this, in this, in
I
this? We
broke
need it.
out,
We need
I broke out in prayers, man. I'm like, dear Lord, send my son a forge. Oh, where can he go?
Yes, honestly. So because
Find them
it
this
just showed the
food.
beauty of having a support system, and everybody deserves it, regardless of gender. Everybody deserves it. So let's not feel like, okay, the fact that our sons look happy with the PS5 and the latest PS. No. Are we thinking of the future? Are we thinking of when PS isn't going to be what is their main
Mm.
concern, when they're actually going to be facing real life struggles? How do they start to maneuver those things? But we have to teach them, and we have to start to teach them now. Yes, sis. So that is it, ma.
I love it. I mean, I completely love it. And you have touched on a lot of things, right? That I need us to delve into a little. This talk about men really needing friends. So I remember when I first started my first ever online group, it was BlackBerry. It was on BlackBerry Messenger.
Yeah.
You know, the time, nowadays there's WhatsApp groups everywhere, but then it was just a few. So, and I
Yes,
joined
it's
this.
you.
My husband was like, "Who are these people? How can you say these are your friends? You've never met them. You don't know
Met
them. What
them.
kind of
Yeah.
is that?" You know that group is 15 years old today. That
Oh,
BlackBerry group, we transitioned into WhatsApp, and
what's
we've kept.
that?
Yeah. The other day we were talking and I was like, this one was a baby now when we started this group. Like these children that want
Oh,
to was
yeah.
writing what's going on. Well, guess what? In that time, when I joined that group, I was having some challenges in my marriage and some issues I couldn't understand. But there were women that were older, right? They had older marriages, they had older kids. Every day we would share different things. They would share different tips. It was in that group I learned how to, get my groove on with sex. In that group,
Mm,
I learned how to serve my husband better with the right dishes and how to honor him in that manner. It was in that group I learned how to put my children together. Very nice because there was one woman that was home every time she showed up. Her children were always like, I was like, come
oh,
on now. Like
oh,
the
that's
intention.
good.
And this is older women
Me
just
too.
sharing.
Yeah.
Here I was, I had no other person to teach me. Like my mother had done what she had done. And but there's some things that I just never you can't go ask your mother about sex. Like,
Definitely.
hello, what's
Definitely.
going
Yes. As in what, why, how?
on?
Yeah.
Taught me and I learned and I grew and it was so beautiful. And I realized how important such friendships are. Today, we've almost met each other. round. Like, the one anytime there's somebody in Lagos, we meet up. There's somebody in Abuja, we meet up. So I've met one of them in London before. One of them, we met ourselves in different places. And we also there from that BlackBerry Messenger group. Now, fast forward to my husband, he couldn't understand what I was doing, right? He was like, what the heck is all this you're doing? Just wasting your time and just chatting away with people that you don't even know. How can you call them friends? Like his own friends are people that he went to school with. Yes, they are his friends. People that
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. I didn't talk. I said, do you, sir? Me, I'm doing me. Just let everybody live and let live. Okay? Let's all be happy.
You should judge
When
that.
WhatsApp groups now started. So my husband plays sports a lot. He's a very sporty person. So he plays tennis and then he started to
Yeah.
play golf now and all that. So when he goes to Ikoyi Club to play tennis, they now started forming friendships, right? From the guys that used to play tennis together, they started forming friendships. I saw him blossom through those friendships. There he met a mentor,
Yes.
a business mentor. There he met some other guys who, these were
Can
guys
you
who were
see?
doing well at work, doing well in their businesses, doing well with their families. These were men who liked to carry their wives on their head. My husband too joined to carry wife on his head. So
Yeah.
he started to learn things from these people. And I was so blessed to say, oh my God, like
Mhm.
it was literally his own forge right there on the tennis courts in Koi Club. You see, and they would play, and when they finish playing, they would sit down for drinks, and then before you know, they start having WhatsApp. Before you know, they start having monthly dinners. Like they will go out to dinner. Then sometimes they will call the wives along, and I was like,
Sir,
what kind of what's all this,
sir.
And then you know that when my husband had
Yeah.
COVID in 2021, he was one of those guys that came. One of them was on the phone with me every day, checking on how's it going, what's it going. We need to look for a hospital. What are you doing? Then one
See,
of
I'm
them
having,
came.
see, I'm having goosebumps.
This guy is not even a doctor. He came
Yeah.
wearing double masks and everything to come and see him. He brought his kids and said he wanted to check on how he was doing. And I was so touched. I was like, my goodness, who are these people? And I saw how important those friendships were. I've seen, how all of these things have really helped him become a better person. Among his mates, they're not on the same level because he's able to, he's mixing with older people and learning stuff from
Yes.
them.
For people.
Some of them,
Yeah.
it's time to play, they play. When it's time to go out, they go out. When it's time to talk, they talk.
Yes.
They're like,
Yes.
"So,
Yes.
you do
Yes.
them. Let me even
Yes.
see what you're doing. It's time to
Yes.
scale. This your wife. Then when he's, oh, it's time for school, sir. I don't know what to do. They're like, okay, this is what my children did. This one. So they're having conversations on levels that I could never have with him, you know. And every day I
Mm.
bless God for those
Mm.
people, and I think, wow, it's just
Yes.
the blessings of
Yes.
God that He this kind of people and form this kind of intentional friendship. So I know how important it is.
Yes.
He also has friendships
Yes.
with his schoolmates,
Mm.
alumni schoolmates and everything. And those ones, oh God, anytime we meet, they will they are so they crack me up so much. Like, and he met them in school donkey years ago in Bauchi. If I have left secondary school for 29 years now, you can imagine how many years he has left. So I can't even start to think about how many years we're talking about. But when we meet those guys, we are always laughing, playing, and just and I think these bonds are important, which is why I say we need to teach our children how to make the friendships. It's not just Roblox friendship. It's
Yes.
not this one that people that we're playing
No, it's
online
not
with
a
and
Roblox
all of that.
friendship.
My, my son,
No,
when he left
no,
primary school,
no,
he
it's
just
not.
started secondary school. When he left
It's
primary
not.
school, he was so
It's
sad.
not.
He said, oh, he wanted to go to the same school with all his friends from primary school. I said, well, life is like that. You cannot all just go the same route. You have to, follow your own path. But guess what? The other day during midterm, one of the parents from primary school reached out to me to say, oh, please, I want your son to show up for my son's birthday. His secret. I didn't tell him about it. I want him to be his surprise. Please try and make it. I was so exhausted that day. I was just coming back from a trip. But when she said it that way, I thought, oh my God, that's so beautiful. I will make it happen. And I took him there. The boys were so happy. They jumped in. And I thought, oh wow, so we're creating
Um,
something here. And I really felt very good with,
yeah,
about it. And I thought, let me just, help them to keep this alive.
okay.
And these are just examples, right, of what these friendships can do for them. You see them comparing
Yes.
notes,
Yes.
talking to each other about, oh, what's going on in your school? How is so subjects? Oh, what new teachers do you have? Teachers do you like? Which one don't you like? They're in different schools and they're sharing information. And I'm thinking, that is so
Sharing.
nice.
Sharing. Yes. 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 Just just having them being able to express themselves to people who they didn't necessarily grow up with is a skill.
Mhm.
It's something that is needed. Having be able to, okay, how do you even strike a conversation? How do you even start a conversation? But you see, the one thing I learned is that the fact that your kids are, and I learned this over time. I just thought, okay, the fact that my children speak at home, it's fine. They will be fine outside.
Mm.
It's a lie. Oh. Hey,
They
God,
lie, oh.
we have to be
They'll go outside,
intentional
they will now
in teaching
stand
these
in one
things.
corner. They don't want to talk. They
I'm
don't, in
like,
fact,
eh?
my son was so bad. If we go to a party, he will look for the piano or the computer in the house and go and sit in front of it. Like he doesn't want to talk to human beings. I thought, what is going on here? You will just be
Yeah.
looking around, you realize, where is this boy? Everybody else is gisting in this place. You can't find the boy. He has
Where
gone to
is
go and look for
he?
either a
He's
TV or
listening.
a
He's
computer.
gone.
Or what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to
Yes.
essentially start
Yes.
teaching him social skills. Like you need to be
Intentionally.
talking to
Yes.
human beings. Hello. How you doing?
Yes, yes, yes. It and it doesn't come for a lot of them. It does. So when you were talking about your husband, I was like, he's a different breed. I probably his personality and his upbringing. You don't see so many men that are like that. You know, yes, they're a couple. Yes, I think also maybe with maybe church activities and all of that. I think it's gradually helping people to lower their guards and become, but it's it's not every there's still a large percentage that are still struggling in with that because naturally
Yeah.
it's not as easy to communicate in men as it is in women. It's not. So
Mm.
there is a biological explanation where they say, I don't know, the pathway for communication for us we have two, but for the men they have just one. And so it is,
Really?
it is, but I've learned not to allow us that we shouldn't allow ourselves to be limited by that, because thank God there's something called neuroplasticity that has come to
Mm-hmm.
save the world, that has told us that,
Can retrain your
when you
brain.
when you keep firing some new neurons. Yes, you can train your brain to do anything and everything. So it's the reason we start, and then we have these some games that we do at home. I think there's one we call Dynamite, where I start the conversation and I throw the ball to you, and you must continue the conversation. And all of us in the house will continue the conversation, till it makes some form of sense. Like we have, it's very hilarious where we end up not making any sense at all, but we're just trying to get
Mm-hmm.
them to express themselves. And I can tell you for free that I knew where my boys were coming from, where I didn't even know, when I didn't even know that that was necessary. And I knew where we are now. And I can, send down, okay, take my ATM, just go there and get money. Okay, go and make this transaction, go and pay for this, go and buy this, and go and buy that. And it's so beautiful to see.
Yeah.
You cannot, we cannot. And I had just one of them telling me yesterday, I'm the gang leader of my gang, and we're five. And then he called
Oh,
them all the
shit.
names. I'm like, okay, well
I
done.
love it.
And so what do you do in this your in this your gang? And another one okay, he's the one that is in charge of. I think the time he came, he was like, okay, bringing my friends together, and that I'm telling all of them to bring money because we're going to have like a football party. We're going to rent like a what's it called? This place where they play football, a field. Yes, and we're going to
Mm.
play. And I was like, I mean, just collect all the money. That's my own. I will give you your own to let. I'll drive you there and everything. And they had so much
Mm.
fun. And so we have
Mm.
to give boys room to explore, to be themselves. We can't
Mm.
continue to cage them. So that was what got a lot of them to where they are, where some of them got overly caged. Some of them were just left to roam, to roam
Mm.
free. And
Say
and so
boys will
what?
be
And
boys.
somehow I
Now leave them
feel,
to roam without
yes. So
direction.
so yeah, no direction. And while both of them had like their cons, very, very terrible ones, but somehow I feel because a man is naturally meant to be out there. I feel like
Mhm.
those ones that even were meant left.
Is it my internet or yours? I don't know if it's my internet or hers. Am I the one that is frozen or is Amina the one that is frozen? So, all right. Can you guys hear
Killing
me?
this boy before giving.
Okay. I don't know whether it's me that is frozen or it's her, but in case you can hear me, let me know so that I can, yeah, let me know if you can hear me so I can just continue the conversation a little. Okay, it has. Okay, great. So while we wait for her to come back, I wanted to just share, a story of I want to share some examples of what you can do, right, to help your son to build communication. So when I found out that my son was too into, screens and TVs and everything, and he just was not ready to talk to human beings. So the simplest things I would do to him was to send him on errands. So we'll go to a supermarket and I'll sit in the car or maybe an eatery. I sit in the car. Thank you so much. I will wait for her to join back. I'm sure she'll be able to join back. I'll sit in the car and I'll give him my card and say, go and buy meat pie. I know he loves meat pie. So I says, go and buy meat pie. And he would go and buy the meat pie. So the first day he froze. He was like, oh my God, I can't do it. I can't speak. I can't ask. Okay, there you are. You're back. Welcome back.
CP, sorry. A call came in and just scattered everything.
Right.
But
So this
I'm
call
back.
was
Yeah,
okay.
sorry. Yes.
Welcome
Yes.
back.
Yes.
Welcome back. I was telling them that, I was giving an example of how you can help them build communication. Like something that I used to do with my sons. I would just will get, they say, Mommy, let's buy meat pie. I pick you up from school. You want meat pie? Say, you want meat pie? No. First day I buy it. The next day, Mommy, please, no, we're going home. The day I drove away, without the meat pie. By the third time, as I just say, you're going to buy it, they've collected the card. Like, hey, this woman is going to drive away. And went inside, they bought the meat pie. Nobody died. Do you see? I tell them, I say, there's no lion out there. Go there, greet politely, ask how much, order what you want to order, pay.
Yes.
You know, you can do the math. Do the math, pay with the card. That's my
Yeah.
pin. Pay and back out.
Yeah.
Did anybody die? Did anybody steal you? I'm
Welcome,
right in front of
welcome.
the shop. I'm waiting here. Nothing's going to happen
Nobody
to you.
time.
And now
Nobody
they've gotten
time.
bolder and bolder and bolder,
Nothing.
and they're not able to at least speak
Yes.
to
Yes.
them. So the next one we're doing now is how to look people in the eye as you speak to them. Not the one people are talking to you, are looking all over the place because are you going to
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Everywhere.
look them in the eye and speak. That's where we are
Yeah.
at now. That's
Yes.
learning curve we're at now
Yes.
because
And speak.
you have to
Yes.
teach these things
Yes. Yes.
intentionally. Otherwise, it's be a long thing. Okay, so you're back now.
Yes. It's a long thing. That's so true. Yes, ma'am, I am. I am. So I think so we have, yeah, the digital the whole screen digital displacement of physical connection. So that's one
Mm,
of the main things that has just made, and a lot of boys are socially awkward. They can't even have conversations, they can't even express themselves, even with those who are close to them, and then you
mm,
find out the only way they kind of tend to express themselves is maybe when they're angry and then they just blot out things. And how about actually teaching them to have conversation? How about actually teaching them to name their feelings, express themselves,
mm,
and all of that? These things have to be learned. They don't
mm,
just fall on them. And also now the cultural constraints of okay, because there's this thing we still have it. So yes, while we were growing, but it's still there. Like a man is meant to be, stoic and independent, and he's self-sufficient, and anything
mm,
you're trying to show any form of emotions or anything means you're weak, and all of
mm,
that, those things. So studies have shown that even boys wearing as when they're young, they don't have those issues. So they're very vulnerable. They say,
mm.
emotional, they cry and they say all of the
Yeah.
things like I love you and all of that. And then when they now start to grow, and also because of what they see, they now start it's called emotional thinning, where they now are not able to express their emotions as well as they used to. And so
Mm,
at that point is where we should step in and say, no, it doesn't have to be. We can still go on this
mm,
journey. It may not be as vibrant as it used to be before, but it's okay.
mm,
We can still help them. Not as directly from a distance, but please be there. We have to constantly do it, because if we don't, also the fact that we go to school and you're like, oh, cry, cry, baby, like all of
mm.
they can be mean.
Yeah, children can be mean. And
These
my
children
son, my
can be
son
mean.
before, if I go and pick him up, I want to hug him, immediately I see him, and it now goes like, don't do that.
You know,
Don't do that.
don't,
I'm
no,
just,
no, not
don't,
anymore. And
don't do that. I'm like, Ah, so I take my hugs at home now because I know
Yes,
that,
yes. They don't
yeah,
want it in
outside it doesn't
public.
want.
No, no, no,
So
no. They don't want it in
when
public.
I now,
Yeah.
so when we wake up in the morning, I say, mommy needs your hug. I need your hug to function today. He'll be like, I say, yes, I really need it to now come now give me a hug. I say, thank you. Oh, now I can have a good day. Say, mommy, stop exaggerating. I said, no, I promise you, I need your hug to function.
Can you imagine the drama?
As in, the drama I do for
Yeah,
those boys, I give them
yeah,
super drama every time. The
yeah,
time
yeah.
maybe I ask them to do something they don't want to do, I'm like, your mom, you didn't do this for your mom. You break my heart. They'll be like, oh, it's okay, mom, you don't have to cry. I said, no, I believe it. The drama. The
Yeah,
drama
I
is
still I
too
still
much.
pulled one for my yeah, I still pulled one for my first son some days ago. And he is not the very expressive type. I just saw him glancing at me like "Ah, she really trying to cry or something. I was like, no, I wasn't, but I just at least I've gotten your attention. That day, if you see how he
Yes.
mopped for me, he mopped, I mopped over and over again. I say yes, it works because we have to get you guys to do things somehow. Yeah, so but
Oh my
you need to teach them to be aware of feelings because trust me, when they're aware of yours, please they shall aware of something. And then they
goodness.
will go out to be it would translate into them to being aware of other people's feelings to their wives, their
Mm,
friends, everybody. So I usually don't say that it doesn't have to be. So it's not just wife, it's not just till the game, right? Like that's not just the end result. General
mm.
having fulfilling relationships, meaningful
Kindness to
relationships.
human beings.
Trust me,
Yes.
kindness, just be a human, just be a
Mm,
human, and it's normal human principles. It doesn't, it's
mm.
not like till you get married or till you need
It's not till you
something
find who you love. No, just
till
be
you
kind
just
to
be a
human
human
beings.
just be a kind human being. That's it. And sometimes even the media doesn't help. Cultural, what's it called, sports is like, the don is the that's the one who everybody wants to be like, and that's the one who nothing they happen, they she here
Mm,
and there, but in reality that's not life. So let them know that it's okay to fail, let them know that it's okay to cry, let them know that it's okay to express yourself, but will be all right. How it's now, okay, can we do it safely and can we do it in a healthy
mm,
manner? So now my kids move from, especially the first two, from not being expressive to now being overly expressive. When I'm like, okay, guys, calm down. There's a healthy way to do this. People don't have to climb my head and use your legs to kill each other. The other. So yes, but it's all in the teaching. It's all in the teaching. But the most important thing, I'm so grateful that I didn't crush their spirits. We had to walk, I had to walk back to place where like, okay, the real essence of you is not gone. And they still need our guidance in knowing how to express themselves beautifully. They will always need our guidance because those same friends that, a lot of reasons, so many reasons, some of the reasons you see men not want to invest in relationship is because they don't want to appear vulnerable. They don't want to, okay, don't take what it is that I said about me, and don't take it somewhere else and all of those things like that. But those things
yeah.
will happen. It comes with life. Yes. So while it's
Yeah.
more common with women, but even if a man, it happens to you, I've seen my dad get beaten,
You will not
relationships where
there.
he has poured his all seriously, but it doesn't take the fact away from, it doesn't take, what is it, God English, God I beg. So it doesn't take away
Mhm.
from the fact that this is a kind man, and the next person that comes, he's still going to be kind to the person. It won't stop, and I
Mm.
know how that kindness God has used it to bless even us that we not even partake in the kindness. So I think the most important thing is you can't shield your child from all of the ills of life. So you're not saying you won't say because you want to shield him, you now let him to live. No man is an island. So it will
So
come with a lot of, it will come with some disappointments. It will come with, yeah, but he
and they
will
are
be
all
fine.
they're all
Yes, he will
lessons.
he will be he will be all right. And also the fact that we have moved from, we've now been start overscheduling our kids in, so they move from school to one lesson or the other. So I remember growing up where we had, sometimes we even be praying for our parents not to come early because we had this after
We're
school
playing
play that we didn't
outside.
even want to end. We'll play, 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 play. And by the time they come to because they're like, who are these people? Like they won't know that it's not even during break time. Yes, was part one. Then part two was after school. This
After
energy that
school,
came after
my
school
son
play.
used to warn me, don't come and pick me early. Like, don't. Uh-uh. I was like, I would think that children would be excited to get home early. Say,
Next time
don't.
he said no.
Don't
He's
come
enjoying
early.
himself. He's obviously having fun. So but now we overschedule them from one lesson to this to that to extra lessons, and so there's no time for them to bond with their peers to just create relationships. So yes, but at the same time we just need to step in and do better because when they form strong friendships, the truth is they go ahead to have a healthier and more meaningful life. We've said it before. A lot of men are dealing with, like, true story, let's get serious, jokes aside. A lot of men are dealing with depression, with anxiety. They don't know how to deal with life. And guess who are the people that get that get the brunt of it?
Yeah.
It's the people at
Yeah.
home, it's the wives. We
Yes.
just heard of, well, no, we didn't just hear of her death, but we just heard of the sentence of, Ife Sinachi's that man must have been going through a lot. That man must have been. You can imagine if he had a safe space, if we had a forge, that he could
Mm.
somewhere that day to day they were dealing with each other's personal issues. So we need safe spaces for men, and this is to tell all men out there, especially anybody that is in the mental health field. And like, can you leave whatever it is you're doing and focus on creating safe spaces for men? And because I find that even the men are focusing on women, and I'm like, what are you doing? Please, can you face your? We have enough women in this in this space.
In this
Can you focus
place.
on men
Mm.
that, and I know it's frustrating because even them complain that we organize programs, the men do show up. They will not show up automatically. You have to keep at it. Continue saying it.
Yeah.
Continue saying it. I just really pray that someday, I don't know, even men see the importance of this thing so that they take it seriously. So that for
Yeah.
them, they feel like, okay, we're doing fine. After all, we're doing whatever it is we need to do, showing up in our homes and doing what we need to do as fathers, but is it enough? I think I wish, another thing I wish, I have many wishes, and a girl is allowed to dream. Another thing I wish for is I wish older men could sit younger men and actually tell
And
them the
mentor them.
truth and
Yes.
tell them the honest truth. I do not know what it is, but it still goes back to this inability to be vulnerable, not wanting to be vulnerable, not wanting to let them know that, see, I made a mistake. If I knew then what I know now, I would not do the
Mm.
same. I wouldn't, I need you to redirect because all of those things you see doesn't mean that
Mm.
they were right. They weren't right. And I'm just learning now in my old age. And I know some of them know. So why aren't you sharing it with your sons that you claim that you love? See, but Coach Brenda, I could cry and shout and keep crying on this. But it's just the things I hope for, the things I pray for. And I just pray that,
Yeah.
even though we can't do anything about those ones, what is in our control? We're serious about
Yes.
it. We're not taking our eyes off the ball because you will not be in this world forever. So even that mother that is micromanaging her children's home, moving from here to there, sorry. Okay, can we sit down
She
and
will
talk
still
about
die
this?
one day.
She will die one day, and when she does, what happens to you? What happens to your
Mm.
family? So that will be the end of you. So can we keep our eyes fixated on the ball? We want children who will thrive, who will live and live fulfilling lives and live, just so you look back and like, God, thank you. Because there's a place for God doing what he has to do, and there's a
Mm.
place for what we have to do. But are we
You
really
doing?
doing it?
Oh,
We're
you've
not.
got to get up.
Yeah,
You have to
we have to
step
get,
out of that
yes,
boat. Everybody
yes,
has to.
yes. So yes, we have
You have
to.
to
We
do
have
something.
to. So we have to intentionally teach. And one of the main ways of teaching children about friendships is actually teaching them your values. I had so because my sons and I we talk a lot. So he kept talking about I could hear one of his friends' name coming up over and over again of how the
Mm.
teacher will punish him or how he will push someone else. And I was like, okay, so
Did we lose you for a bit? No, network, don't do this anymore. Please stay with us. 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 The cycle needs to be broken. So I'll just take a few comments from YouTube. Thank you, our YouTube fam. You guys are amazing. I see the comments buzzing. Mopela says, yeah, looking away was a form of respect in those days, but today is a form of confidence. We need to look people in the eye. I mean, are you back?
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Don't worry, this network, we bind it. It will work for us by fire by force. Yes, I mean it's Chini says the cycle needs to be broken. Indeed, we need more male mentors showing the younger ones the way. It is so important. I mean, today I was driving by in Ozumba, by the way, in Victoria Island, and I saw a billboard about a leadership program by a man, and maybe for men or for everybody, I don't know. It was just a leadership program anyway. And I was taking it down. I was telling myself that, oh, I want to give to my husband this program. Because I think that from maybe if he goes to hear something from a macho person, a guy and everything, from
Yes,
there they can start
yes,
to get used to going for
yes,
programs. So let's even
yes,
start from okay,
yes.
our leadership, okay, boss is for for company owners, business leaders. Let's start from there. When we enter that level, we can now start for other softer skills, but we just at least know the need for going for these classes and all of those things because sometimes we need to learn, we need to teach them that, it's important. It's important to go out. It's important to learn. It's important to continue refreshing our memories, our minds, and everything. Because the boys, I mean, we're talking about ego today. Before this call, I was in the book review for my team on TIP. I was reading the book Husband Manual. It was a serious one, a serious drama in that review. We're talking about, things that affect men and how we can help them. So we're talking about the ego, this ultimate male ego. And it shocks you when you see the boys, little boys, having the ego of a full-grown man. And you're thinking, who is this one? My friend, will you comport yourself? But like Amina has shared, connection, connection, connection. As we connect with them, they will be able to share with us their struggles, we'll be able to guide them appropriately, and will not leave them alone. So granted, men are supposed to raise their sons, men are supposed to show them how to be men. But when the man is not there, maybe he walks outside of the house or he walks, somewhere far or wherever, and you are the one with the child, with the boy child, do not leave them alone. Don't leave your boy child alone. Do the work you have to do while you're there, while you're present. Thank you. I know it must be frustrating. So sorry. I mean, so sorry. Your network must be frustrating you right now. I wanted to see if there's any questions for our guests so that she can take it just before she leaves, because we've done about an hour now, and our programs are usually 1 hour. But if you have any questions, please type it in the chat so that she can take your questions. Okay, Amina, are you good now?
Yes, I am. I am. I am.
All right. Sorry, I'm sure it
I
must be
am
very
good. Yes.
frustrating. But they are
Yes.
they are
Having
praying
to
for
do
you on YouTube. They
having
say
to
this
do with
network shall work. Well,
network
yes,
work.
thank you so much.
Yes.
I mean,
So,
you've
yes.
really, really shared a lot of things with us. I mean, and thank you for all the good work you're doing at the Nurturing the Boys Academy. Can you tell us about your conference coming up? Tell us, tell us,
Yes.
tell us, tell us.
So okay, so yeah, so thank you, Coach B. Thank you. It's always an honor being here, really, really, and for your support and everything. You know now, I can crush on you all day, all day. Yeah, but yeah, so we have a conference coming up in commemoration of the International Day of the Boy Child, which is 16th of May. And so, but this is a physical conference. I think we had a virtual conference last year, but we're going physical this year. So it's going to be in Kano, but it's going to
Yay.
happen on the 30th of May. And we're just hoping to be able to seat almost 1,000 boys to bring them together from different schools and just have them listen to themselves. So with boys, what I've learned is that boys don't like a lot of talking. They don't like
Mm.
too much talking. So yes, what we
They like
intend to do
doing
is they
action.
like the doing. Yes, they like the action. So what we intend to do is to bring these boys together. They're the ones that are going. So we're going to be passing different, we're going to be sending different messages, sharing different
Network. Oh, you are still giving us drama. She needs to tell us about the conference. But anyway, before she jumps back in, let me just loud it. Did you know that there was something called the International Day of the Boy Child? Everybody knows about the Day of the Girl Child. We know
thing
about
done by
International
them.
Women's Day. We know about all of these things. But did you know there was a day, International Day of the Boy Child? Well, now you know. It's May 16th every year. International Day of the Boy Child. Mark it in your calendar. If you have a son, mark it and celebrate with him. Okay, I was just telling them about the International Day of the Boy Child.
Yes, the
You know,
International Day of the Boy Child. Yes, yes,
in case
yes,
you did
CP.
not
So
know. No, now go and tell them in your child's school they should mark it for the boys. Mark it for the boys. We can't always be having only Day of the Girl Child. I know the Day of the Girl Child like the back of my hand is October 11th because they've been marking it forever.
so
But what's the Day of the Boy Child? Are they marking it in your school? Go and talk to your proprietress today. Go and talk to your principal. Tell them to mark it for our amazing boys this year, May the 16th. Amina's network, please cooperate. Let her tell us about her conference. So she's telling us that it's going to be a live conference, physical conference holding in Kano, where they want to have 1,000 boys. I need to hear about that 1,000 boys. Because remember, I'm like, hey, 1,000. Who wants to prepare for 1,000?
Anthony, have you even checked? It's not there. That's why I said send to SMS. Anthony, yes, man.
Okay, we are back. Are you back? Oh, okay. Are you back, Amina?
Okay, CP. CP.
Again, okay. At this point, we give up. Well, we are not want to give up, but if you have any questions, you can type it, and we will try to take your questions. If you're just joining us, you were listening to Amina Ismail, convener of Nurturing the Boy Child Conference. She's going to be holding one on May the 30th this year, May 30th, physical conference in Kano, Nigeria. And she's trying to celebrate the International Day of the Boy Child, which normally is marked on May 16th, but her conference will be holding on May the 30th, end of the month. So if you know a boy that knows a boy that knows a boy, and they are in Kano or environment, send them to the conference and let's watch her make magic. And if you have a son, or you know somebody who has a son, or you have any boy child in your environment, I hope you've learned something today which you can help to connect better with them. Don't just leave them and say, "Ah, these boys, I don't understand boys, I don't understand." You have to make efforts to connect with them, efforts to love them. They say boys are their mother's children. So don't leave your boy to the father alone. Claim this your child and love him while you can. It's not when he gets married, you'll not be dragging love with his wife. No, love your son now. Give him what love that he needs to make him a balanced human being. It's not when he gets married, then you not start saying, "It's my son," and the one that loves him. By that time, your love would have finished, as in you would have taken a back seat and let the love of the wife go forward. So understand that now and take your love, use your love to smother him well now, so that you can be, how do they put it? You can be bellyful and don't come and disturb one woman for her with her husband, okay? So thank you so much for joining us today. This was brought to you by WGA Women's Growth Academy. We come to you live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. with different topics we're talking about. It's women's matters, everything that affects a woman, from her work to her faith to her life to her family to her growth, just different things. And we try to talk about things that people don't even want to talk about. And so we've got you here on Women's Matters every Tuesday 7 p.m. WAT. We will bring you matter. So this month, the month of May, we're going to be talking about friendships. So today I had Amina Ismail, the convener of Nurturing the Boy Child Conference, talk to us about how friendships can help boys thrive better, how nurturing friendship, teaching them how to, have physical friendships outside of the screen, not all those Roblox online friendships, no, physical friendships with human beings and help them, with their emotional regulation and all of those things. So it's a nice conversation. If you're just joining us, click replay. I'll be sharing the information of how you can join her conference, as well as how you can join the Women's Growth Academy. You just click link in our Instagram bio and join us. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Ayo, Yemi. I see you. See great discourse. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you same time next week, Tuesday. I love you. Bye-bye. Thank you.